Welcome to this week in the world of wrestling.
Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort and commentary Ashton, and this is our NXT review. I gotta say, this NXT was certainly interesting. We got the in-ring debut of Eva Marie. We had a pretty solid, build as the main event segment to our main event of NXT Takeover Brooklyn, and some good matches peppered in between. I'd say this was a very enjoyable hour. What did you think of it, Ashton?
As always, NXT never disappoints. This is a really fun show. If you have the WWE Network, spend an hour to watch it. It is well worth it. Even if for no other reason, because you get to see the update, the progress on Eva Marie as an in-ring project, which, I mean, there's no denying that it is still very much a project, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, this was a fun show. The actual main event segment wasn't even a match, but it was still very enjoyable. It got its point across, and I feel like NXT just kind of did everything the right way tonight.
Absolutely. So with that said, let's get right into our first segment, Heat of the Night. I can't really say that I have any heats tonight. I liked really everything done here. So no complaints tonight as far as this show is concerned. Ashton, what about you?
No, I don't have any heats of the night either. This was a solid show. Definitely going to have some discussing to do about a certain match that I think everybody probably already sees coming. But other than that, yeah, fun show.
Completely agree. So with that said, let us roll right on through to our NXT review. And we open up this show with the starting of the age of Finn Balor. The NXT champion does open this show. And Greg pretty much asks him, how does it feel to be NXT champion? Crowd very receptive of Finn here, as you can imagine. You deserve it chance in the works. So, Greg poses the question, how does it feel to be NXT champion? Knowing you went into Sumo Hall and you beat Kevin Owens in Tokyo, what are you feeling right now? And Ashton, Finn pretty much says in a word that it was all worth it.
Yeah, he comes out in this suit, rocking the NXT title, and it's all good, man. If you're Finn Balor, you're on top of the world right now.
I gotta say, I know this may seem like a weird kind of offhanded comment, but he rocked the suit, and he had that professional look. Like, every time I see...
Oh, yeah, like Finn Balor? More like Finn Baller!
Exactly. Oh, my God, I love that you pulled that off. But more importantly, whenever I look at Finn in that kind of context, I'm like, this guy just screams face of the company to me.
Yep. And,
I picture him in that same suit. You just swap the NXT championship with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. You're in business.
He pulls it off kind of in the same way that Rawlins does.
Exactly. I just have the highest hopes for Finn Balor. And, yeah, he said there were times I thought, did I make the right decision? Because he said about, the kind of career he cultivated for himself in Japan and all the success that he had. And he knew the gamble that it was to come to WWE and to come to NXT, knowing that he had already built a brand and he had to start from scratch. But he said, holding this, being the NXT champion, I know that it was all worth it. And it gets, thank you, Finn chants. And then I think Greg, poses the question about, Finn, well, you've got this match coming up with Kevin Owens at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. And I definitely wanted to get this point across on my end, Ashton, because I know I said it aloud to you in conversation. This is how you cut a promo. See, I really didn't like the crap. And I'm glad that's why you pointed out as you're here tonight, because I've just gotten so numb to it. But the way John Cena treated Seth Rollins on Monday, Finn Balor was completely antithetical here to that promo because he built Kevin Owens up like he was God status.
He did a great job, too.
He said, here's the guy. He's injured Sami Zayn. He's beaten Cesaro. He sent Neville away, off NXT.
The one thing that I will say I wasn't a big fan of was that he implied, and he didn't even imply, he just flat out said that Owens injured or sidelined, I think he said, Hideo Itami, too. And they've already kind of established that it wasn't Owens that did that. So I don't know if that's just Finn kind of perpetuating this idea that he still thinks Kevin did it, or if that's NXT acknowledging that it was Kevin and that he's a liar. So, like, now I'm even more confused because of what he said there.
Could be Finn covering his tracks, if your theory's correct.
Oh, yes. Oh, please!
You know what, though, Ashton? You do raise a legitimate point. Like, I guess if I had any nitpick, and I'm not even talking about nitpick in the sense of our prior segment, I think it would be, I like the idea that we had this ambiguity of who, ran Hideo down, who caused him this injury. And now Finn's just coming out and saying, yeah, I still believe it was Kevin Owens. So was it Kevin Owens, and he's just too much of a scumbag to embrace it? But see, that seems antithetical to the Kevin Owens character, because this guy always seems ready to take credit for anything.
Yeah.
So I still don't believe it was Kevin Owens, really, for that reason. But regardless, he says that, you beat Cesaro and you beat John Cena. So, he's like going through every Kevin Owens accolade. But, and see, again, this is how a face cuts a promo. He built the heel up, yes, but he's not slacking himself. He's not doing a disservice to himself, because he says the one thing you didn't do was beat Finn Balor in Tokyo. And I loved it, dude. It wasn't a promo of great finesse or anything, or of really flowery language, but that's not the point. It had like an A, B, and C kind of deal. I think Finn checked off all the boxes, and his delivery was great. I love this promo. I really did.
Yeah, it was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed this, and Finn felt like a consummate pro in this promo.
That's the perfect wording, Ashton. In fact, I'll just go one step further. I'll say, any kind of aspiring babyface that wants to know how to handle a program, I would refer them to this promo, because it was so basic and so direct. I feel like it's the perfect template for a babyface to understand how you work with a heel, like on the microphone, as a subject matter. And I think Finn just did that perfectly. Yeah, nothing but good things to say about this promo. This is a great opening segment.
Yeah. Let's move on, though. Up next, we had an Eva Marie interview with Devin Taylor. She's been putting her blood, sweat, and tears into getting better at wrestling and actually trying to get competent in the ring for months. Right, because that's something you can do in months. And if people just open their eyes, they're going to like what they see.
Yeah, and we definitely opened our eyes, and whether we liked what we saw or not is debatable, but we'll get to that in just a moment.
I'm pretty sure I opened my eyes, and all I could really feel was an innate sort of buzzing in my inner ear.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that, maybe I have cancer, I don't know.
Oh, dear God. I hope not. I mean, Brie Bella's theme already does that enough for me as is.
Yeah, well, no, my point, though, is that Eva Marie made me feel nothing in her match tonight, which was next!
Yeah. Okay, Ashton, let's start it off like this, okay? Let's kind of get, like a scale going, if you will. Do you feel like Eva was better in her first match than Dana Brooke was in hers? Or do you feel like Dana Brooke is even above Eva? Like, how would you, if we were to use that as a scale from, like, Dana Brooke to Sasha Banks being at the top?
Oh, my God.
Where do you feel
I
Eva falls on the scale?
I think that the scale is from Eva Marie to Sasha Banks, with Dana Brooke being, like, a 2 out of 10 on that scale.
Because, to me, here's the thing. I think Eva has improved in some ways, but the one thing I think myself and everybody else took notice of, she still looks so uncomfortable in there. Like, I just didn't feel like...
Can I tell you exactly what I was thinking?
Sure.
She doesn't look like a wrestler as much as she looks like an actress playing wrestler.
Interesting.
To me, she looks like she is, like, playing a game where it's, let me put this move on you. Okay, now you sell it and make it look really, really good. Okay, now I'm going to do, like, she's, everything it seems like is planned out and rehearsed and very unnatural. It feels like she doesn't take it seriously, and it feels very, I guess, unnatural. I just keep coming back to that word because it's so forced.
Well, Ashton, if I may, I think one criticism from a fan watching NXT really illuminated it for me and kind of encapsulated it perfectly. Eva knows how to do more moves now, but she still doesn't know how to do moves that tell a story. I mean, for example, right, we see at 2 different points in her matchup with Cassie that she goes, like, in this arm hold, and she's working over the arm.
And the crappy thing is, I don't think it's even supposed to be an arm hold. I think it's supposed to be an abdominal stretch, but she doesn't know how to do one yet. Right. Or at least she doesn't know how to do one properly yet.
But it seemed like regardless, whether it was supposed to work the abdominals or the arm, it didn't really play into the finish. And she just kind of resorted to that hold as kind of like I guess like a rest thing to kind of regroup and know what to do next.
Well, and even then, dude, like, I feel like you're taking it almost too far right off the bat. Because, like, I think that you should learn how to tell a story, not necessarily that, like, chaining moves together that make sense first, but just being able to tell a story with your facial expressions to make it look like you're actually trying to win the match.
Right.
Because with Eva Marie, all it feels like she's doing out there is putting together moves for the sake of proving that she can do moves.
Right.
It doesn't feel like she's trying to win the match. This didn't feel like a wrestling match. It felt like an Eva Marie exhibition. It felt like, look what Eva Marie can do now, guys.
Yeah. And really, if we're being honest here, Cassie came away from this match looking so much better than Eva did.
Oh my God.
Eva was the one supposed to be highlighted.
I know I've brought this up to you before. One of the reasons I love wrestling so much is because it's one of the very few professions where it involves two people and you only need one person out of the two to be really, really, really good to get a good product out of it. Because Cassie basically wrestled herself in this match.
Yeah. I think if Cassie was to sell herself, this was the match that did it. Because she came off looking really impressive to me. I think she did the best job she could of selling Eva's offense, despite how clunky it may have looked at times or how uncomfortable it may have looked at times.
I think the really bad thing is that, like, Eva Marie just flat out does not come off as an athlete.
She doesn't, no.
Like, even the sliced bread number 2, to me, when I saw that, it looked like Cassie was suplexing Eva rather than Eva doing anything to Cassie.
Dude, you know what was so funny about that? Like, I see her do the sliced bread number 2, and it immediately harkened me back to conversations we were having, because you know how excited I was that Eva was releasing these Instagram videos, and one of them was the sliced bread number 2. And I said, well, Ashton, wouldn't it be something if she took on that move as her finisher? And I remember you laughed, because I think you even said something about how slow she would be to do it. Like, the sliced bread number 2 is supposed to be a move, like, you scale the ropes like nothing, you come down. It's like an impact move where speed is everything.
Yeah, it's supposed to look like the freaking Matrix, where you're running up a wall, or like parkour, where you're like running up a wall and doing a backflip.
Exactly, but Eva doesn't have the speed. That was so slow that it kind of sucks the aesthetic out of the move. So it doesn't look nearly as beautiful as, like, say, when a Brian Kendrick or just like a cruiserweight or whatever does that move.
Or just an athlete.
Or just, going back to your point, just an athlete. And then at the same time, like, it doesn't come off well, and it looks like, well, was that Cassie's offensive maneuver? Did she counter? Like what was all that?
No, that's the thing, too, is that, like, especially on the replay when they showed it from the camera angle from the side, it legitimately looked like Cassie did all the work there. She was the one lifting Eva Marie up to get Eva Marie over. It looked almost like a cheerleading squad routine where they were doing assisted flips, and one of the girls had to lift the other one up to do a flip.
Right.
So, to me, this match showed me a combination of two things. First of all, Eva Marie isn't an athlete flat out. Just, I don't care how good her conditioning is, and I'm sure her conditioning is excellent if she's doing these multiple hour sessions with Brian Kendrick and all that stuff. So I'm not questioning that. She just flat out isn't an athlete. There are some people, and this kind of even comes back to my experience scouting for the NFL. There are some guys, it doesn't matter how good of shape they're in, it doesn't matter how much muscle they put on or how much fat they lose or how efficient their muscle to fat ratio is or whatever. It does not matter. Some guys just aren't that great of athletes. You could have a 6 foot tall, 198 pound corner that jumps 30 inches vertical, standing next to a 6'5", 300 pound offensive tackle that jumps 32 inches in the air. And it shouldn't make sense, and it doesn't make sense, but some people just aren't athletes, and that's Eva Marie. She just isn't an athlete.
So, I mean, what do we do? Where do we go from here? Do we, like, relegate her to a valet?
I think what it really has to come down to is Eva Marie, I think, is like a good 5'11". She needs to start doing power moves. That's all she can do because she's not athletic enough to pull off the athletic stuff.
Yeah, I mean, she did a big boot, I think, in this match. It didn't look so bad.
And that's another thing, too, is that she's got Charlotte to compete with in that category because Charlotte's got the power offense.
Oh, yeah, and it looks so good, too.
Right, I think at this point, Eva Marie, I'm not willing to give up on her because, I mean, for God's sakes, Bull Dempsey has become interesting. So hell has frozen over. It doesn't matter. Eva Marie can get interesting if she tries hard enough. But for this right now, she is very clearly the furthest thing from being a polished, finished product. And I'm not even saying that in the sense that polished, finished product for the main roster. I mean, like, polished enough to be competent on NXT. Again, I would say Dana Brooke is kind of riding the fence between polished enough to be on NXT and should still be getting daily training at Full Sail, learning how to do stuff. And Eva Marie is clearly worse than her, in my opinion.
Wow. Okay, then. Yeah, that's really what I wanted to come down to. And oddly enough, like, I wish I could be contrarian to that view, but I can't. Like,
well, again, I don't know if you kind of caught what I said, but I feel like the scale from 1 to 10 would be from Eva Marie to Sasha Banks. Eva the 1, yeah. Sasha the 10, and I would put Dana at like a 2 or a 3 on that scale.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to be a contrarian to that view, but I'm inclined to agree, because at least Dana Brooke, to me, like, I remember her first matchup, she didn't come off to me nearly as uncomfortable as Eva did at points in this matchup. I don't want to give up on Eva yet either, and I still...
Well, and I think with Dana Brooke, she's clearly an athlete.
Yeah.
Like, Dana Brooke, like, the way that she does the Thrill of a Hunt finisher, the fireman's carry kind of Michinoku driver-looking thing.
Right.
There's a certain level of athleticism that needs to be able to... that goes into being able to synchronize jumping, lifting, and twisting in the order that you have to in order for that move to look good, and she does it.
Right.
And that's the kind of move that I would be just scared shitless if Eva Marie had to perform that on anyone.
Right. I mean, I won't, withdraw any of the praise that I've given her in the past, for putting in the work to Brian Kendrick. I mean, at least she's doing it, but it's got to be more than that now, because
to me,
really this match.
The tier at the bottom of the barrel contains Eva Marie, Cameron, and Rosa Mendez. And I think that of those 3, Eva Marie is probably the worst.
Wow. Oh, that's bad, people. Remember, Cameron once tried pinning somebody on their stomach.
Yeah. I mean, the difference between Eva Marie and Cameron, though, is that Cameron is somebody that knows how to get heat. Cameron does things that make you want to hate her. Eva Marie just kind of like I said, that buzzing in the back of your head, like it just nothing, neutral, no feeling whatsoever, numbness.
Well, we'll see what the future.
Eva Marie comes off as completely passionless to me.
Yeah.
She's there to me. It comes off like she's just there to stamp her time card, get the paycheck, and walk out.
I think, to me, like, after this match, and if she really doesn't improve and commit to improving, it just comes off to me like WWE is just another building block in my overall brand as Eva Marie.
Exactly. She isn't in WWE to be a great wrestler. She's in WWE to use it as a platform to become an actress in Hollywood.
Right. Maybe she
Which, I mean, I guess it's possible, but one of the prerequisites to becoming an actress in Hollywood is actually being good at acting, and she doesn't seem to be that.
Well, hopefully she can prove us wrong in the future. Like you said,
I mean, maybe she'll be the next Megan Fox. I don't know.
Who knows? But like you said, I think you said it best. You're not going to give up on her. I mean, Bull Dempsey's even become interesting. I'm not giving up on her either. But man, that match, I had somewhat adequate expectations for it, to be honest, because I had seen the videos and I'm like, man, things are looking good, and just did not come together at all. And you can't even blame the worker, because we know Cassie's wonderful.
Well, and you know what, dude? That's my thing. I even have in my notes, this wasn't a bad match. It really wasn't. It was a little bit awkward, but it was not a bad match. And the reason for that is because of Cassie.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Her axe kicks, though, which I know you kind of exclaimed when we were watching, like, beautiful form and everything. So, Cassie, I definitely want to see more of. Like, we always like to end things on a positive note. At least Cassie came out looking fantastic. This
was, to me, this was like her coming out party. She's had, I think this is her 3rd or 4th match in NXT. And the other ones were against, I think she had one against Charlotte and one against Sasha. I'm not sure if she had any other ones. She might have had one against Dana Brooke or Emma, but I don't think she did. This was the most impressive that she has looked, but that's just because it's clear that she was working with an inferior talent and she managed to make Eva look somewhat competent.
Yeah. So good on you.
She
Cass.
dragged Eva Marie kicking and screaming to a watchable match.
It's like, we are doing this. Oh, man.
All right. I'm glad we got that off our chest, because I feel a lot better now. Up next, William Regal walks into his office to find Tyler Breeze, who asks him what Regal's got for him at TakeOver Brooklyn. William Regal just kind of tells him, "Oh, you'll find out, son." And we're just thinking, oh my God.
Oh, man. Then Tyler Breeze is like, well, it better be good. And then he leaves. And then Regal apologizes to whoever he's on the phone with. He's like,
I have no idea what that was. I don't know.
Man, I mean, considering that you and I do know what's coming for Tyler Breeze, I mean, I can't even really say I feel bad for him because he is doing something.
Josh Thunder!
But, so I can't even say I feel bad for him because he is doing something really freaking cool. But I'm glad, that they're reminding us, yeah, Tyler Breeze is a thing, and just him interacting with that Uggo Regal. It's a rough time.
What is your problem, John?
I'm heel, okay? God.
When are you going to get it in your head that we are the last real baby faces?
Oh, yeah, like Cassie with Eva Marie to a good match. You'll have to take me kicking and screaming to be a baby face.
Oh, man.
Being decent to people? Ew. I'm such a child. But yeah, I enjoyed this segment, and I'm really just excited for Tyler Breeze.
All right. Up next, we have our second match of the night. Also known as our first extermination of the night. Baron Corbin versus Grimace.
Dude, what is there to even say about this match?
Baron Corbin sent Grimace back to McDonald's.
Exactly. Line of the night from Corey Graves, by the way. I love that man so much, and as a side note, I want to thank him for educating Byron Saxton on what wrestling actually is. Oh, but they're popular. Shut up, Byron. You were popular, too. You never won a damn championship, you jobber.
Yeah, they were actually trying to push Byron. Well, I wouldn't say popular, because they were actually, when he was an active wrestler in FCW, they were pushing him as a top heel, not a face.
Oh.
Abraham Washington was the face in that feud.
Regardless, Byron, your career flamed out. And
did you know that Abraham Washington had his own take on the People's Elbow?
Yeah, I think I saw footage of that, actually.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I'm just so grateful for the existence of Corey Graves to educate all the other neophytes on what wrestling is and isn't. Get those championships. But yeah. Baron Corbin, he wrecked this boy. I don't even know what to say. He pushed him into the ropes. He caught him. End of days. Over. But
not even 15 seconds.
Dude, you know what I want to see though? Because I mean, I don't want to jump the gun, mind you. But given what we're seeing Samoa Joe do lately,
that sounds a lot like something that somebody would say right before jumping the gun.
Well, it's fine. I'll just say it's probably going to happen. But given that we know what Samoa Joe did tonight and what he's going to do in a few weeks, it doesn't seem like Joe has got a lot going on. I want to see
Corbin Joe. Oh my God!
Can you imagine that stare down though?
Oh Jesus! Corbin would tower over him though.
Yeah, but Joe is such a behemoth, and he's got scary agility for a man his size. It'd be a great matchup. God.
And the crazy thing is, it's not even like we have to say, oh my God, Baron Corbin might have to win that match because he's got this undefeated streak, because he doesn't. He's already lost to Adrian Neville.
Exactly, and here's my thing, Ashton. Joe doesn't really seem to be doing much right now. Corbin hasn't been doing anything.
How great would it be if Baron Corbin was the new member of the Wyatt family?
I actually, you know what the funny thing was? When they had that whole segment a few weeks back with Roman Reigns and he confronted that imposter Bray Wyatt, I actually thought it may have been Baron Corbin at first.
Oh, I thought it was Bull Dempsey.
And I'm like, is it Baron? But yeah, Baron would be an excellent fit. But my point, guys, I would love to see that in NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, because Joe's not going to get his hands on Kevin Owens. I know he wants Kevin Owens. Not going to happen right now. He's tied up with Finn Balor. So why don't you have Baron Corbin back up the words from his vignette the week prior? Say, Joe, you're nothing. You're trying to take my spot. I'm the lone wolf. I'm going to be the next NXT champion.
Nothing but hot garbage.
Exactly. And then they go out. I think that could be a great match at the next TakeOver. So I hope it happens. I doubt it will, for the record. But given, again, that both guys don't seem to be doing anything and are kind of aimless, I would love to see it. So.
Well, I mean, speaking of Joe, that was actually the next match, was Samoa Joe versus Mike Rawllis.
And again, not really much to say here.
Yeah, I mean, this match went a lot longer than Corbin's, but then again, Corbin seems to not care about getting paid by the hour, while Joe maybe just kind of toyed with Mike Rawllis for a little bit more.
Well, it's two different mindsets, right?
Well, not only that, but Mike Rawllis has actually been in NXT before, so maybe they see him as a little bit more of an established talent, and they didn't want to squash him completely.
Yeah, than freaking Grimace.
Grimace looked like a short, overweight version of Enzo Amore in Nothing But Purple.
Oh my God. But Mike Rawllis, I mean, yeah, he got some, like, forearms, some right hands in on Joe, but it didn't matter. I mean, Joe got his signature offense. You know, the Uranagi slam in the corner, the like, kind of Pele kick that he does, like, after he does some chops. The flurry of, like, punches and then the chop that he did in the head, like, in the corner to Rawlins, I thought was beautiful.
Yeah, that was
I mean, Joe's just gotten intensity. Did the muscle buster. I think the most noteworthy thing, though, is the theme finally did change, and I think me and Ashton are going to greenlight it. I mean, you said you seemed to like it better than the first one, and so do
I mean, I'm not a big fan of the fact that they're still using the ooh, ha to start it, just because Ooh Ha Nation's a thing, so I'm assuming that means they're going to have to change his name, but the song itself, I think, is a lot better. It sounds a lot more intimidating. It's more in, like, a minor key, and yeah, I like it a lot more.
Definitely. I completely agree with you there. So, I mean, hell, Joe squashed his opponent. Corbin squashed his. And by the way, guys, because, you know, it's no big secret, so I feel like I can say this. When I said that we know what Joe's doing in a few weeks, in 2 weeks on NXT, again, you know, before the event, he's taking on Rhino. I would love if after that match with Rhino, maybe Corbin confronts him or something. I don't know. I really want that match now, so let's see.
All right, up next, we had an Emma interview. Miss Devin Taylor tells her that Bayley said that she's going to do more than just hug her last week. And Emma just kind of shrugs it off, and she brings up that she broke Bayley's hand. And then she says something about how I think I need a hug. Or Dana might have even said that. Do you need a hug? And then they end up hugging, and then they walk away, and then Dana comes back to pat DT on the head.
Oh, Devin, this is your life now.
She looked so mad this time, like she was clenching her fist and everything.
Dude, she's getting madder and madder each time Dana Brooke does it, which makes me warily, because I know we say that Devin Taylor seems green as goose shit, but like that she's gonna stand up to Dana Brooke and that there may be an end game here, which does scare me.
We shall see. We shall see.
Yeah, we will, unfortunately. But as far as the promo, I mean, I love heel Emma. I mean, you love her theme.
She's
I love
adorable.
her theme. I love the look.
I mean, Emma has always been adorable, but there's just something about her being all angry and heelish that makes her even more cute.
My wife. Sorry, once an episode. But yeah, I just, like, the promo wasn't bad, but I just thought the whole hug interjection by Dana Brooke was kind of awkward, which just really does prove...
Again, it comes back to the word that I was using for Eva Marie. Forced.
Exactly, yeah. It just really does prove the thesis that Dana Brooke kind of ruins everything. So, you know, you didn't have to interrupt Emma's talking time. It was her talking time, as in not yours. So, yeah. But,
that thesis is very close to becoming a theory, just so everyone knows.
Yeah. But, we do get Emma versus Bayley next after this, right?
Emma versus Bayley next, yeah. I really like the match, too. Good psychology.
You took the words right out of my mouth, bro, because literally the first one I was going to say, like, right out of the gate, was Emma's psychology was so on point in this.
I was actually talking about Bayley because of how great her facial expressions are and the way that she sells moves, and she always looks like she's in, like, legitimate pain. It's just great stuff. And, yeah, I mean, obviously Emma doing what any good heel would do and going after the cast was perfect.
Yeah. It's a perfect blend. Like, I feel like of all the matches I've seen between these two women, this might actually be the best one that they've had in my eyes. Because I like the story they were telling. And you're absolutely right about Bayley, dude. Like, she is a great babyface. She knows how to emote. She has that connection with the crowd. And, you know, it really shows that they are with her for the whole ride. I mean, there have been points in Bayley's career, either if she was, like, on a losing streak or, you know, what have you, that I'm like, oh, is she going to lose fanfare? Are people going to cool down on her? And yeah, there was a divide at certain points in this matchup. You know, Emma certainly had her fans, but ultimately, you know, Bayley's got the really strong fanfare.
Yep.
And, you know, the turning point of the match really comes when Dana Brooke, you know, meddles one time too many, grabs the arm, and I will say, her freak out got a chuckle out of me, because she's just like, no, I was just checking to see that she was okay, and so, you were checking to see she was okay by grabbing her injured wrist forcefully. Yeah, get the hell out of here. And then,
that's,
you know,
pretty much what the referee said, too.
Yeah, because he ejected her. And then, like, a minute or two after, like, we have some pinning exchanges between Bayley and Emma, but then ultimately Emma gets caught in the belly to Bayley.
Yep.
And, yeah, she gets, or the hugplex or whatever you want to call it.
No, they called it belly to Bayley.
All right. So, you know, after that, we get hugplex city chants.
Yep.
And Bayley pretty much says, you know, it feels so great to hear an ovation like that, because they also showered her with welcome back chants. That was really cool. And she says, you know, but I'm here to be the NXT Women's Champion, and to do that, I need to beat the best. And here I thought she was going to call out Sasha right out of the gate just after beating Emma. But then she says, so I want a match with Charlotte, which definitely gives credence to what you told me, Ashton, before this match, that they're going to try and book Bayley like a Sami Zayn and go on this redemption tour.
Yeah.
So to me personally, I would have her beat Charlotte first, and then, I mean, it didn't happen with Sami Zayn because I wanted Sami to get that win over Cesaro back. That never happened. I would like to see Bayley get a win over Becky Lynch as well.
I doubt that'll happen. I mean,
yeah, I doubt that'll
awesome,
happen too.
But I think she's going to go right from Charlotte to Sasha, to be honest.
And yeah, it's apropos because I even told you in a later segment, in fact, the segment that came after this, which we'll get to in a second.
The Charlotte interview, you mean?
Yeah, the Charlotte interview.
Do we want to continue and just get right into that?
I mean, might as well.
What were you saying? Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, like, remember I brought up the point to you where Charlotte's kind of the gatekeeper for Sasha's NXT Women's Championship. Like, if you beat Charlotte, you've proven yourself good enough to at least get a shot at Sasha Banks. Yep. So I kind of like that pecking order. And, yeah, I mean, Charlotte gets this interview. I liked it. She seemed like she was getting emotional, actually. I was afraid she was going to cry.
Dude, yeah, she got so into it.
Yeah, because she was talking about,
We had a new interviewer here, too. Dasha.
You know what, dude? Like, this just shows you where my mind is at, because I thought that, whatever the Rich Brennan.
I thought he said Sasha.
Yeah, I thought he said Sasha. I'm like, how dare you call her Dasha? Like, burn your tongue. But no, it was this new interviewer. And
Dasha. Like, let me look up her last name real quick.
Yeah, let's.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Kuret.
Cruet. All right.
Kuret. It's Kuret.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's not so bad. Yeah,
from what I understand, her name before she came to NXT was Dasha Gonzalez.
Interesting.
So.
But I mean, yeah, guys, like Charlotte was very emotional, talked about, how great it feels to be on Raw because they're getting to do there what the NXT women have been doing for the last few years, and it's just such an amazing opportunity. And then Dana Brooke again. Like, we got so much Dana Brooke tonight. Why? She comes in, and the theme of this promo is opportunity. Ashton, I'm going to let you take the reins on this one. I can't deal with the pain anymore.
Oh, really going to put this on me?
I know, I'm the worst.
She comes in with her super obnoxious Midwest accent, looking like some Czechoslovakian from actual Midwest America, talking about how Charlotte's had all these opportunities and Dana has not gotten any, and Dana wants to prove that she deserves opportunities by beating Charlotte. So,
yeah, that was pretty much the promo. How painful was that for you to recount?
The painful part is imagining her actually saying it in my head, because I just hate the way she speaks so much.
So yeah, Charlotte just says it, if you get that opportunity, it'll be an experience that you'll never forget. And so we know a match between these two is going to happen. And I think you had the perfect exclamation to end the segment, because you're like, why is everybody challenging Charlotte? Sasha's the champion. And it's, nobody gives Sasha any respect. But, yeah, that match is unfortunately still happening. I thought maybe Charlotte got to the main roster just in time where she didn't have to, do the job for Dana, but I guess that's going to happen. We're all going to go kicking and screaming. So nothing really more to say than that. Now, is this where we get our contract signing?
This is where we get our 5th match of the night.
Oh my god, that's right! How could I have forgotten? Wait, the Vaudevillains against Angelo, Dawkins, and Sawyer, Fulton, who nobody cares about. So,
Aiden English! Simon
Gotch!
There you go, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta love Smiley. It's Ryan Smiley Cass that does those intros, and he used to be the host for WWE Raw and NXT AfterBuzz, which is a Maria Menounos thing where they do after shows. They actually have a Tough Enough after show too. It's pretty good. And yeah, he works for WWE now. I think he's one of the producers, I want to say, for, I don't know if it's just for NXT or if he works for any other shows, but at least for NXT, and he does their intro as well.
Yeah, that man's existence is just beautiful. But yeah, I had so much fun with this match. The Vaudevillains, in particular, Simon Gotch showing us some new offense, which I thought was awesome.
Oh yeah, the jump over, like weird sunset flip pinning attempt thing.
Yeah, it was like a springboard, kind of like Oklahoma roll or something.
Yeah.
I liked it. Like over the ropes, yeah, it's so cool. And then the flexibility he had with his foot, dude. Like, Corey Graves really sold that well too, because he's like, what the heck even is that? So Simon Gotch really showed something, and he's somebody that I've been talking about for a while, because everybody knows in this group, like, I'm the really big Vaudevillains freak, and I actually found a video that somebody uploaded. I wish I could remember the YouTube username. And it was like this whole backstory on Simon Gotch, but done in like a very promo style. So you know it's kayfabed up. And like, oh, he used to wrestle bears and do this and do that. Like, I see some kind of potential in Simon Gotch, and it was really cool to see him do this stuff. Then Aiden English gets the hot tag, and there comes a point where I believe it was on Sawyer Fulton. He hits the curtain call. And then you're pretty much saying, Ashton, like, it's over. You could get the win for yourself. But I'm all like, it's about friendship. Because then Aiden English tags in Simon Gotch. They hit the Whirling Dervish. And they beat Angelo, Dawkins, and Sawyer Fulton, which was some much-needed momentum, because we found out that next week on NXT, it will be the NXT Tag Team Championship match, the Vaudevillains versus Blake and Murphy. And I'm confident that the Vaudevillains will show those rapscallions what for. I'm excited.
I can tell you really love the Vaudevillains.
I do. It's almost unhealthy.
I think we might be torn next week, man, because I love Blake and Murphy. You love the Vaudevillains. We're going to be cheering against each other next week.
But our friendship will survive. It will. We'll be fine.
Yeah, you seen that.
Ashton's all like, I don't know, that differing opinion. But
I mean, we're used to differing opinions causing friendships to end.
It's so true. But yeah, I'm excited. I hope that's the main event next week. I don't see why it wouldn't be, because it is a championship bout, and it doesn't seem like any other big bouts are set to take place next week. In all honesty, in all sincerity, I don't expect them to win, because I think it was you, actually, Ashton, who said that you thought the end game, maybe, now correct me if I was wrong or if you've changed your mind on this, but that the end game was going to be Enzo and Cass winning the tag titles in Brooklyn at the next big special.
That was not me, but that would be amazing.
I really thought that was you, though.
No.
It had. Well, then somebody told me, or I read somewhere.
It might have been someone on Pletov, but it wasn't me.
Yeah, I really thought that was you, because yeah, the whole thing was Enzo and Cass earn contendership. Like after, the Vaudevillains get their chance and they lose. Maybe they're in like another number one contender situation, and they win it this time, and then they go to Brooklyn, because that just seems like it would be the epicenter of Enzo and Cass fandom. And they win the titles there, because I agree with them, too. I think the reception in Brooklyn would be insanity for those guys. So I actually feel like that's the way it's going to go, if you want the truth. I don't think the Vaudevillains will be successful, but I'm just still glad that they're together and that they're getting this push. And much like Johnny Mundo with Lucha Underground, when I say about all my favorites, I'm just enjoying the ride anymore. So I hope they tear the house down with Blake and Murphy, and I can't wait for next week.
Absolutely. Now we get to... Did I fake you out? We're not even at the contract signing yet. The BAMF interview.
That's right, because Buddy Murphy and Wesley Blake...
That's Buddy Murphy to you.
And Wesley Blake, who has dyed his hair bleach blonde apparently now. It's something new every week with this guy.
Oh, man. He is giving hairstylists something to work with every single week.
They must love him.
He's such a charitable man.
I know. They must love him so much. When he sits in the chair, they know they got free reign.
Exactly. Just do what you want, sweetheart.
But this segment's actually a little bit more revealing than one might think, because we see the power dynamics in this relationship. Because Blake and Murphy are kind of laughing this off. Like, oh, Vaudevillains are a joke. I mean, they're a part of this act that was relevant in, 1990? And they're laughing and, like, having a good time. And Alexa Bliss is like, boys! Like, really authoritative and everything. And they immediately snap to attention. And she tells Devin, hey, when my boys face the Vaudevillains next week, they're going to walk out still the NXT Tag Team Champions. I'll make sure of it. Now shoo. So we see Alexa Bliss definitely has these guys reined in. It's crazy.
Yep. It's awesome. I love it. I mean, hell, dude, if you had a girl that looked like Alexa Bliss telling you what to do, what would you do?
Stand at attention, man. Kidding me?
Yeah. All right. Let's get on to the main event though. Our contract signing. Finally, I've been teasing it enough. So we get to this contract signing. William Regal comes out, introduce Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is really eager. He's just like, yeah, bring the other guy out. And now comes Balor. Owens immediately gets on the mic and says, this is going to be in Brooklyn. And the crowd hates that because it's not in Full Sail. And that even though you, talking to Finn Balor, are the champion, you're still the underdog. And I am going to become the first ever 2-time NXT champion.
I love it. I love it. Like, Kevin Owens has this connection with me with his delivery of heel promos. It's just magnificent. Like, I have gotten...
He's such a sociopath.
He is, though, but I love it because I feel like... I'm sure we've had heels like Kevin Owens before, but I don't think we've ever had heels that are as good at portraying the role that Kevin Owens is doing, as good as he does it. And it's gotten to the point where one of my favorite activities when we're doing like live reactions or just whatever while we're on Kevin Owens, it's to just further justify his behavior. Like, I love it. I love just reveling in his inner scumbagness. It's amazing. And, you know, he's signing that contract. Then Finn says some stuff. He's just pretty much like, oh, you know, well, it's going to be me walking out as NXT champion. And then Kevin Owens, well, he was starting to anyway.
Hang on a second. I love this because Finn Balor straight up says, and I'm going to do my best here, all right? He says that he's going to take Owens' words and shove them down his throat.
Ah, yeah.
I love Finn Balor's accent so much.
Yeah. Finn Balor really held his own here. He did great work. And then, like all contract signings do, it started to break down. Kevin Owens slams...
didn't even start. This went from 0 to 60 in about a second and a half.
Exactly.
Kevin Owens chucks the contract at Balor, flips the table, and just starts going after him. Regal tries so hard to stop him, but then Owens just kind of clocks him too. Eventually, Balor gets the upper hand and throws Owens out of the ring and goes back to check on Regal, but then Owens tries getting back in the ring. Balor hits him with a drop kick to chase him off, and that's how we close this out.
Yeah, make no mistake, folks. This was a tactical retreat by Kevin Owens.
Oh, absolutely. That's all they ever are with him.
Yeah, and I don't know what William Regal was thinking getting involved. I mean, wasn't your day in the sun how many years ago? Yeah, maybe you should know your place next time. But aside from that little annoyance, yeah, Finn Balor did all right. He did all right. But yeah, really enjoyable contract signing. I think their rematch is going to be great. I think the crowd is really going to force them to kick it up to another level because New York, man, especially a place like Brooklyn, again, I feel like, acts like Enzo and Cass, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, they're going to be so insanely over. And whatever the women's match is, that's what I'm really intrigued about. Because again...
Well, I think it's pretty clear based on tonight and kind of looking forward, it's probably just going to be Sasha Bayley.
Yeah, but I think that should still get a great response from the crowd, though.
You got to imagine, though, because, I mean, Sasha's a Boston girl.
Yeah.
She's probably going to get a little bit more of a babyface kind of response than what NXT would want.
Right. I think NXT, though, they're usually so good about rolling with the punches.
Yeah.
Because they know that Sasha's been, like, winning people over lately.
And especially now that she's on the main roster.
Yeah, definitely. But I think if her fanfare is strong in Brooklyn, then those two women just go, they tear the house down. Maybe we'll even have a mutual respect moment to kind of end it. Maybe they'll hug and Sasha will congratulate Bayley. I kind of doubt it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
We'll see. We will see. It could just be like a farewell kind of thing where Sasha's just like kind of accepts Bayley's hug, doesn't really reciprocate it, but just kind of lets her do it to her. And then she's just like, yeah, you did good, kid. Now I got to get back to the main roster where I belong.
Exactly. Winning that Divas Championship now. Yeah. Thanks for freeing up the load. But, yeah,
Thanks for taking off the cement shoes, chica.
Oh, man, I don't want to comment further on that, but I think you killed it. I think you did everything that could be done in this whole thing. So we're ready to move on to our next segment, I guess. High spots and low shots. And Ashton, this is one time I'm grateful that I need to go first because I need to pull out the knife quickly. My low shot is Kevin Owens.
Oh.
Oh, God, it's just been such a rough time for him. I mean, he loses at Battleground. He abandoned his partners on Monday, so he's just like, he's just doesn't have his head in the game. And then on NXT, he has to look at the man that has his NXT championship, and he couldn't even get the edge on the offensive. I mean, I know that Kevin Owens is a provider. He's better than everybody in Full Sail University. I mean, that's all indisputable. But, I mean, even despite being a father, damn it, it's not going to be good enough to take the title in Brooklyn, at least not yet.
What are you going to do when WWE signs Adam Cole and he's also in the same building as Kevin Owens?
Well, then obviously I go to Adam Cole. I mean, at that point, who the fuck is Kevin Owens? But for right now, wow. Kevin Owens is holding down the fort. Hey, look, praise be to Adam Cole. Are you questioning his wisdom? I didn't think so. So, who is your low shot?
My low shot's Eva Marie, because she just kind of proved tonight that she's still not ready. And here's my thing, guys. We've got to take into account, sure, it's called developmental, but when you're a touring brand and people need to pay $10 a month to watch your product, you should be at least some kind of polished product. And I've said this about Dana Brooke, and it goes double, if not triple, for Eva Marie.
Yeah, I mean, he has said that, so actions being nothing but consistent here. And really, I would like to point out that I think it's especially true when you're doing to women's wrestling what NXT has been doing. And that's why, like, it still makes me uncomfortable that Dana Brooke is where she is and Eva could be wherever they want her to be, because the Charlottes, the Beckys, the Sashas, the Baileys are working so hard to change perception. And it's a lot easier to destroy than to create. And so it's going to be a lot easier task for Dana Brooke and Eva Marie to destroy that perception, at least the one that the Four Horsewomen are trying to make, than it is for the Four Horsewomen to finish completing it in the first place.
Yeah.
So definitely cause for concern. But now, on a happier note, the high spot, this may be the last time I get to do it for a while, the Vaudevillains. Simon Gotch really stood out here to me. Yeah. I liked his offense. I've always said, like, if these guys go singles, I just see, like, maybe a babyface character in Simon Gotch. I just see a character in Simon Gotch, I'll put it that way. Like, I just see something in him I'd like to explore a bit further. Their tag title matches next week. They've got all the momentum. I don't think they're going to follow through with it. You guys know that. But I'm just glad they're getting pushed again, and they're still together. And I love that theme music. I've still been trying to find it on YouTube. I can't find it anywhere yet, but I will. But for now, Vaudevillains are my high spot. So who's yours, Ashton?
My high spot is Cassie, because again, she proved to me tonight that she could wrestle herself and still put on a competent, enjoyable, watchable match, which is something that I think Dana Brooke can't really say, I think Alexa Bliss can't say, I think Carmella can't say, and I think that puts Jessie McKay and Cassie both on the map in a big way, because, I mean, personally, if you would just take the one match that Jessie McKay has had, I was more impressed by her in that match than I was before this night by Cassie. But now, tonight, Cassie took the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that the women tonight have dominated both your high spot and your low shot. Really
well, I mean, it's not really that weird of a thing, because the women had 2 matches tonight, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's true.
We had a total of 5 matches tonight. 2 of them were women's matches. Emma versus Bayley and Eva Marie versus Cassie.
I love it.
And the only other high spot that I could really think to come up with was Baron Corbin, and it's not really worth giving somebody that just kind of goes out there and kills someone in 20 seconds a high spot. So
exactly. All right, guys. Well, with that said, I mean, do you have anything else you want to say about NXT, Ashton?
No.
All right, guys. Well, with that said, this has been NXT. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to comment and subscribe on YouTube. I want to say very quickly, thank you guys for all the support for our first installment of G1 Climax Day 1 and our Raw reviews. I mean, our sub count kind of exploded. The views have been great. You guys are the best, and we really appreciate that. Continue the conversation here. What do you think of the odds of the Vaudevillains against Blake and Murphy next week? Could we be in for another upset? Do you think the end game is Enzo and Cass winning the tag titles in Brooklyn? What do you think of the whole Finn Balor, Kevin Owens debacle over the NXT Championship? Be sure to take the conversation over to Tweetov, an amazing pro wrestling group on Facebook. Now, I get it. If you guys just want to be like, John, stop pressuring me to join Tweetov. I don't do that. I'm not very sociable. It's okay. It's okay. Because Ashton has made for you a TWitWoW subreddit. You can find all of our episodes there, and you can create any threads you want related to pro wrestling that you can discuss with myself or Ashton. And guys, tomorrow we will see you again for day 2 of G1 Climax, where the machine gun, Carl Anderson, is set to take on, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, Nakamura Shinsuke. So be sure to tune in with TWitWoW for all of the best English commentary you can get at the G1 Climax. Until then, tune in and peace out.